Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foulball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope that you're doing well. I'm doing phenomenally. Thank you so very much. Appreciate your patience. I was at the Ryan Long show last night, and I shut down the bar with the comedians. I got to talk to Ryan, which was really cool. I hung out with him for a little while. Yeah, it was great. Bought him a shot. Bought myself a few shots. Hence the late start this morning. I apologize. But we are here. We are fighting culture crime. Much appreciated for you guys hanging out. And as always, I'm joined with my co-host.
Vigilante Wednesday here on the 34th episode of the Culture Crime Fighters. And I appreciate everybody's patience again. Like what Matt said, we're adjusting to a new schedule. So that has a lot to do when you're like, hey, I'm used to doing things in a certain way, and now everything's different.
It's funny, badass. Culture Crime Fighters by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night.
There you go.
All day. Yeah. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Keely,
you.
good to see you. Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast. I apologize for our unacceptable quality. We will try to be. We will try to be better.
It's all we can do.
That's all we can do.
It's all we can do.
Thank you, guys. APM, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah,
Hail.
APM.
I haven't seen you in a little bit, man. Good to see you. Robot Sean ATHF. Hello. Hello.
But they're all gone.
Good to see you. Vigilante Williamson in the chat. That's wonderful. Good to see him. He's a great supporter of the channel. Really good guy.
Yeah, there were 6 or 7 people waiting. They just said, all right, fuck it, I'm done. Y'all left as soon as we started.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Thank you for hanging out. You know, I see that a lot of times where it would be like 7 viewers waiting, and then the show starts and it drops to 3 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, come back. Please come back.
Baby, come back.
I was just thinking that.
You can blame it all on Vig. Baby, come back.
Really? Just blame the black guy. See, is that
That's how you scapegoat. Scapegoat.
There you go.
That's my white privilege. But I'll tell you what, the show last night was really fun.
Yeah.
It started way late. It was supposed to start at 8 p.m. It started at 11. I got an email. I went out to dinner, and as I was going to the show, I got an email like, "Oh, well, I guess we're not going yet. Let's go. Guess we'll go back home for a few hours." What's up, Sentient Dildo? Hey, he made it. He made it.
There we go.
Good to see you, man. Because he was complaining about this the other night when I was streaming The Expanse. He's like, the new or whenever I was streaming something. He's like, new Culture Crime Fighters time sucks, but he did make it. So hail.
Appreciate it.
Good to see you, sir. So I had to wait a few hours for the show, but I guess Ryan's flight was delayed. But it was a great
Southwest?
show. What's that?
Did he fly Southwest?
No, probably not, because he came from New York. I think he flew Delta.
Did you hear about Southwest?
No, what happened with Southwest? Is it gay?
So,
Is it? I don't know.
Is it gay? Probably, yes. Obviously, gay and trans, you bigot. No. So Southwest, there's this, and we don't know what happened. We don't know why it happened, but there were like 1,800 flights, all canceled. And the rumor was that a lot of people called off sick in protest to the COOF mandate, so the jab mandates. That was the rumor. The CEO said it was never his intention to enforce that. It came from he's Biden, but he didn't say either way whether or not that rumor was true. So it's like, okay. So that's just why I'm like, I wonder if he, was one of those people caught up in that sort of.
This is what I love about our country and the media. It's so exciting. It says, this is a Business Insider like a headline. It says, Republicans praise Southwest vaccine protests. Officials say never happened. I don't even, I never know you never know what to believe anymore. You never know what to trust.
Exactly. That's why I had to preface everything. Like, maybe it happened. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it didn't. And then I compared it to the thing, because you did the video last week. Well, we both talked about the IATSE strike.
Yeah.
Actually, on this show last week. And I guess we're buffered. So the CIA is already after us. Like, we need enough setbacks. No, but last week you did a video as well, and there was actually somebody from supposedly, at least according to them, from one of the unions saying that had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, she was sort of being shitty though. Like she wrote another comment and she was just like basically like, think before you speak. It's like, all right, listen. Maybe that's not what it's about. Or maybe it is what it's about and they didn't tell you. Is that possible? There's like how many tens of thousands of union members? Do you think they're going to let everyone know? Obviously, if it is something that they're keeping under wraps, if it is something that they are authentically striking in protest of, it's not necessarily the type of thing they're going to make public. Now, I could be wrong. It could not. It could have nothing to do with that. But that article was pretty inflammatory, so it's a reasonable conclusion to draw. I'm not out of my mind.
Yeah.
She was. I don't know. She was shitty about it. I didn't like her.
That was kind of my point. Just because she was saying that, like, either like you said, either she doesn't know, or she does know, and it's just that's not the PR move. You're not supposed to do that. You just keep everything under wraps, keep these as the talking points, and just keep it moving.
I mean, does that seem so unreasonable that they would do that in this day and age? I mean, with the tone, the tenor of the country right now.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that to be a part of it because, the modern mainstream media would kind of bury you if that was one of the talking points.
If they were
want people on your side.
Yeah, they were legitimately striking against the COOF mandates. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that would be like, oh, these fucking alt-rights. Duh.
Yeah, so you want to just leave it. You rather just leave it out and just keep it moving.
Yeah.
Even though not that we're going to talk about that necessarily. Just a tangent. Just a tangent.
But to that, Ryan Long did not fly Southwest. He flew Delta, and the show was great. It was pretty interesting. There was comic up front. The host, I feel like I've seen him, but I can't place it. Very very homosexual lad. He was very gay, but he was pretty funny. I didn't love him, but it was funny. It was like that was the host, and then the next guy went up. Was a comic who's been on Ryan's podcast before. His name is JJ. Another gay gentleman, but this guy, he's very, very extremely based and gay. Does not give a fuck. Was dropping the hard F bomb, which is not the fuck word. The other one. No. The other one you're not supposed to say, which was really funny.
Was it like an N-word sort of thing?
Yeah, but he's kind of like a bro who sucked dick.
I see.
It wasn't like he was gay, but he could probably kick your ass. But he was very funny. And he also made a rape joke, which was funny. It was funny.
There you go.
And it worked the way.
Listen, feminism said those jokes can never be funny, and therefore this is that rape culture that you bigots keep. You alt-right bigots.
Is that what it's called? Rape culture, right? That's what they call it.
Yeah, it is. It's a culture.
They're just so up their own ass. So up their own ass. Rape. Shut up. So much of life is so much of society is manufactured to keep you safe, to protect you, to coddle you, and you're like, the whole culture is set up to rape us. Shut up.
I mean, if you're being, I can't tell you now after we've burnt down the country and defund the police in a lot of the urban areas.
Good point.
But before that, just say 2019 back past 10 years, probably the safest group of women that have ever lived in history have been women in the Western world. There's no way. If you look at history, some cultures have been cool. Some cultures have been A-okay. If you were a Spartan woman, you'd be A-okay. You were a woman in certain cultures, still to this day.
Even now.
To this day.
You get your clit cut off.
To this day. So it's like, man, I don't know. I'm not saying, I don't really know what you're complaining about relative to, reality.
Nothing. They got brainwashed in college. That's what happened.
Yeah. And you know what? Hell, Islington girl. I've been wondering, is there like an air conditioning on or something? That's why I assumed.
Me?
Yeah. Maybe could be me.
Oh.
She says you sounds like you're talking from a utility closet. I thought it was like an air conditioning or
Oh
something.
shit, I don't know. Let me see here. I'm
This,
sorry. Oh. No, wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. What's the problem here? Speaker, mic. Oh, I'm talking. Oh, god damn it. It's got the wrong, it's the wrong microphone.
ah,
Why is it going through that
it's a
one?
weird. It is
There we go. That should probably be better.
okay. Yeah, now you
Is that
sound way
better?
lower now,
Okay.
but you
Lower?
do
Like
sound
you
clearer.
can't hear me? Lower?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can hear you, but barely.
How's that? Is that better?
Yes, that's better. That is much
That's
better.
Okay.
See, I just thought you had the air conditioning on, just like, oh well, it's hot.
No, sorry. I for whatever reason, StreamYard had me had me on my webcam audio, not my microphone
Oh
audio.
Jesus,
All right.
that
Sorry about
makes
that.
sense. Okay, so this is. Thank you, Islington girl, because I was
Yeah,
just
thank
letting
you
it
so
go.
much.
I'm a
Thanks,
terrible
Islington.
producer. Somebody said we should have like this produced by Gary, and I said maybe X-Ray Girl. We need a producer.
We do. We actually do. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the Wake Down is he's been a good producer for the Culture Crime or for Cocktail
cocktail
Lounge.
lunch. Yeah,
Yeah, we probably do need a producer. That would help. Yeah.
yeah. Is he
Well,
still low to you guys?
no, I think I'm good. Right now, Now he's super low on this end.
You're
Oh,
good to
really?
me, but I don't know if it's because I can just.
Oh, for Christ's sake! Oh my God! Sorry, everybody. Well, let me know.
Yeah, maybe if you.
Anyone else? Any more feedback?
Yeah, let us know if you guys can hear Matt.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
They said
I
turn it up a little.
apologize, everyone.
I guess if you can turn it up a little.
What the fuck? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
But you said you can hear me.
Yeah.
Turn it up a little, Matt. Okay. What the hell? Is this better? How's that?
Okay,
okay?
now well then Robot Sean says good.
God damn, I'm so sorry.
Okay. Well,
I don't know what's
thank you
going
guys
on.
for helping us, man.
This
we
is
we
weird.
want to make the show the best for you. Like I said, I can hear, but I mean I can
It's
turn
very
my head.
strange
Okay,
that it's
now
so.
Ace Mr. Freeze says perfect. I think we're good.
Okay, good. All right. Well, then we'll go with this. We'll move from this. Thank you guys for your. I apologize, and I appreciate your feedback, letting me know. Kind of a clunky start, but 12 minutes in, we do the rest of the show quite well.
Yeah.
Thank
what
you very
about chopped
much.
liver? You're not chopped liver APM.
No, we love you, APM. We love you very much. Why do you guys want to? Why do you guys want? Why do you guys want a producer on the show? Is the show going to become about food?
It's a produce.
Oh, produce. I got it. Wait, you're coming to Austin, Ace, Mr. Freeze?
Hey.
What? That's what's up, dude. Hit me up off off the air. We'll meet up. Or I'll buy you a drink or something. You're coming to Austin. That's great, dude.
This is a bachelor party in Austin over Halloween. What to expect? I would assume strippers in costumes. That's my assumption.
Yeah, lots of thoughts.
Yeah, well, I mean, going to the grocery store, you'll see lots of thoughts. They're just everywhere now. It's just a part of culture.
It's true. You should go down on South Congress. Lots of girls in yoga pants.
There you go.
I like it, though. They look good. And also, I guess this season, no bra is like the style.
I have heard
chicks.
that's the thing.
Holy shit. Everywhere I go, no bra. I'm like, ladies, easy. Only human.
That's the rape culture. You're not supposed to be attracted unless you're hot, apparently. Then that's okay.
So back to the show. So the gay
show.
dude who did the drape joke, very funny. It was good. It was because it was just a comeback to like there were some people in the audience that like people that just don't know how to go to a comedy show. Like they think it's a back and forth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, it's so annoying. Yes, please do hit me up, Ace Mr. Freeze. There were a few people that were talking, and he said the one guy said something, and then the comic said, "I'll rape you." But it was really funny. Like it was very snappy. The timing was good, and it was a really funny comeback. Yeah. And it worked. And then he did make a point of how it was. He's like, "See, I told you it can be funny," which was good. I liked it.
There you go.
TBF. What's TBF?
To be fair,
to be fair.
This
This show is like a
vegetable.
vegetable. It's supposed to be good for you, but it leaves a shit taste.
Well, life is bitter, said your dildo. The
Why do I
cold,
keep
hard
doing that?
realities of life are bitter.
Yes, that's true. It's true. You still need your medicine after all.
There you go.
You know, it's yeah, okay. So he was funny, and then Danny Polishuk went on stage before Ryan. And you know who Danny is?
I do not often.
He is the fat guy from the like a lot of Ryan's sketches. As soon as I share his picture, you'll know him. He was very funny.
Okay, I probably have seen him then.
Yeah, he's a very funny guy. I'll show you the picture real quick. I mean, if you've seen any of Ryan's sketches,
I've seen
Danny.
Danny.
Yeah, that's Danny.
Okay, yeah, I've definitely seen him.
Yeah, and he was great. Like he's funny in the sketches, and he's funny on on the air and all that. Like, but he's a really good stand-up. Like I was really impressed. I did not expect him to be that funny. It was really good. So he did great, and then left it open for Ryan. Ryan did really well too. Ryan was really funny. I didn't have any expectations for Danny just because it's like, I mean, I watch him on the podcast every week, and I find him entertaining. I find him funny, but I find Ryan more entertaining. So I was just kind of like, all right, and really impressed. Like, just really did a great 20 minutes. Then Ryan did well, and then they hung around for a while. And I talked with both of them for 15, 20, and it was really cool. It was a really, really good time. I had a blast.
I wonder, and I'm not sure if you talked about it. It's an obvious question. I'm sure they get it a lot nowadays, but especially doing kind of style of comedy that they do. But do you worry that cancel culture is just gonna end it all one day? And how do you navigate? How don't you self-censor is almost the question I'm trying to ask. Because on some level, especially as you get bigger, if I'm Ryan Long, this is just my thought, and you make all this, anti-woke comedy or comedy that is gonna flame people who will take your platform, basically. How does that not come into play when you're writing? Because it doesn't seem to, you know what I mean, from what I've seen from the sketches, and it doesn't seem to really be impacting. He's still being a comedian, and it's how do you deal with that, basically? Which I know it's probably a question he gets on some level a million times.
The question is, how do you cancel them?
How do you cancel the Ryan Long type comedian?
Yeah, how do you cancel Ryan Long? He has a Patreon. He sells tickets at comedy clubs, and he does really good on YouTube. I what can you take from him? It's not like he's got a network show. Yeah, it's not like, you know what I mean. It's not like he's not a late night guest. You know what I mean. Everything he does is independent of the system. The only thing you could do would be to get him kicked off those platforms.
That's what I was saying. I mean, that's why it can't. I don't think he's done anything. Though? I mean, you see somebody like Crowder. He's not off the platform, but I think he's still demonetized or currently demonetized. So you can do things like that.
Is that true?
I'm not sure where he is, because he's been monetized and demonetized a few times. I'm not sure where he currently is. Anybody who's a little bit more knowledgeable on Crowder can let us know about that. But I know it does happen. I know people have Patreon. There are people who have been taken off Patreon. It has happened. It doesn't happen as much, but it does happen from time to time.
I'm sure it's a concern. I mean, I can't imagine it's the kind of thing. Ascension Dose says, please don't call Crowder a comedian. He's not a comedian.
No, I didn't mean comedian. He's YouTube. He's on YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube. I think the outspoken conservative guys are more of a target because they are directly contradicting the narrative. That's exactly what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're aggressive. And Crowder's kind of a jerk. You know what I mean? I find it an entertaining way, but he's just very hostile.
Yeah.
Still, it doesn't mean he should get demonetized. I mean, you should be able to say whatever you want. It shouldn't matter. But it's a little different than a comedian.
True.
Do we have any examples of comedians getting removed off Patreon or anything like that?
It hasn't happened yet. I guess when I think about it, like that, I can think of comedians, no, but maybe I'm more paranoid.
No, I mean, I think it's a reasonable question. I'm just
I
trying to
guess
think
you
of
know what,
like,
with the YouTube. I didn't mean to cut you off again, but that's what I'm professional at. With the YouTube, I've seen. We've just seen so much craziness with the YouTube. It just seems like that's something. It just takes a few trolls with a few trolls on Twitter can impact your YouTube.
yeah, I mean, look, I'm pretty sure I'm in YouTube jail.
Yeah.
Like I really have no other explanation. Like I was talking to a friend about it, and it's like, I'm putting out more content now than ever.
Yeah, you are.
You know what I mean? And I'm not getting any subscribers. And when I do get subscribers, it only stays around for a few days and then it goes back down. Like I was at 1636. That was, I don't know, the other day, and then I back down to 1631. Like it will not let me grow. Like YouTube just refuses to let me grow. Like it won't. It just won't. It's stopping me. And it's like,
Yeah.
so coincidentally, everyone suddenly doesn't like my stuff, and they make a point to go unsubscribe, or YouTube is blocking my channel growth. And I'm pretty sure it's the latter, because pretty much every live stream that I do, with the exception of maybe this one, but every cocktail lounge for sure, I get demonetized. Like every single one.
Oh,
Right,
man.
even right now. I just turned on ads. I literally just turned on ads this second, and it's already ad suitability. It's already demonetized.
So already demonetized. Oh, geez.
Automatically demonetized. So someone at YouTube doesn't like me.
Huh. That's crazy.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Automatically demonetized. The second it came on the air, automatically demonetized.
That's crazy because there are like your channel. It's good to have over 1,000 subs, but it's not the biggest channel on earth. So like, why do they care? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some algorithm thing where you say something, it goes into their AI and it triggers something. But like, I don't know. Yeah, you're on the naughty list.
I think so. I think it's something like that. I think I'm being on the naughty list, or like, rejecting jab mandates or something. I don't know, but like I get every single thing I do. I literally just turned on monetization, and before anything, it was automatically demonetized. Ad suitability under review.
Well, Robot
Why?
Sean, ATHF,
Hell,
Octane
by the
Hunger
way,
Force, I
hell, Sean, let me
guess.
see about
He
it.
sent a blank super chat, super sticker, completely
Huh.
blank. I don't see anything in the regular chat.
For
But thank you.
$5. Thank you very much, Robot Sean. Is that Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Is that what that is? ATHF?
That's my thought. Because first I'm like ATF, and I know there's an H there.
And he's a Mets fan. Hail. I am unfortunately also a Mets fan.
Oh,
Very
man.
sad. Very sad. And a Jets fan.
Oh, man. Well, I'm a Lions fan, so it's like we'll never win. We'll never.
How's Goff working out for you?
Man. Listen, I never had any high expectations with Goff. Like we traded him we traded Stafford for picks and for him to be free. I did not. I'm glad that out of all the talents that we've had, one of them at least has some prime left to potentially win a title elsewhere, and we didn't ruin his career completely like Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders before him. So okay, Stafford, run free, roam free. And
He's
I'm
doing
rooting
great.
for. I'm actually rooting for the Rams this year.
Yeah, he's doing terrific. Real quick, Islington Girl says remonetize for $5
There we
Canadian. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you very much.
And yes, he still will get the percentage of super chats that Google gives, because then they take a percentage.
30%.
Dun dun dun. That's
30.
mob shit.
That's ridiculous.
Mafia.
But still, I am very grateful. I'm not complaining. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
So
And Pat S. reminds us
Yeah.
that late September and October are when the purges happen and algorithms reset its worse these 6 weeks.
is
All
it?
right, well, let's hope so. Let's hope that's what's going on.
Yeah, I would like to be monetized by. Apparently, they say that the Christmas season is like the most profitable season. Like they pay better ad rates. I would
Really?
love to be monetized by then. Yeah,
I'm with that.
but I don't know if it'll happen. We'll see. We'll see. We'll just grind through it. Just grind through it.
Yeah, we shall. We shall indeed. Oh, Robot Sean's from Jersey. Ditto. I am
There you
also
go.
from New Jersey, Robot Sean, and so is Ace Mr. Freeze.
There you go. Shout out to Jersey.
Dirty Jersey. Yes. Wait, what's Senshin Toto say about gay rugby? What's happening? I don't follow gay
Oh,
rugby.
he's talking about football. Calls it
That's
gay rugby.
That's funny.
Oh man, and APM keep you monetized.
Whoa. I've got a beautiful soul. Thank you
do have
very
a
much,
beautiful soul.
APM, for 44 pounds. 44.99 British pounds. Thank you very much, APM. Very grateful for that, sir. You do have a beautiful soul. Much appreciated. You're a good guy, APM. You've been a supporter of this channel for a long time, so thank you. That wasn't, by the way, I wasn't trying to bait super chats. I'm very grateful for all of them, but that wasn't like some passive-aggressive ploy where I'm just like, oh, gosh, no one just can't get ahead in this life.
Like the OnlyFans girl or something.
Right, yeah, exactly. Or like
Can't pay
girls who
myself over.
they tweet, oh, feeling so unattractive today. Oh, no, sweetie, you're so beautiful. That's not what I'm doing. APM funded the stream. Yes, he did.
Fund the
Yes, he
stream.
did. And so did you.
Yeah, you all did.
Williamson girl. Thank you very much.
APM's a good bloke.
Yes, he is. A rather good bloke. Yeah, no, I saw that the trade was 1-for-1 with the Lions and the Rams. The Rams are doing incredible. They're one of the best teams in the NFC right now.
Yeah, but no, we got picks. We got picks. I care more about the first round picks and all this stuff. I hope we don't screw them up.
Yeah, you probably will. And I don't mean that to be a dick. It's just
no,
because
we will.
Like the Jets
we've
do.
never drafted. We've never drafted well. We've never done anything well. We've never drafted well. We've never been in the free agency well. And we every now and again the stars will align where like enough of our top, because we usually always have top 10 picks, but they usually don't pan out.
Mm-hmm.
But like we did have the time when we drafted like Sue, Stafford, and Calvin Johnson all close enough to each other that they were able to go to the playoffs a couple times. That's it.
Yeah.
That's as good as it'll ever be.
I really thought the Stafford and was Megatron.
Yeah.
I thought
Megatron.
that connection was going to actually pan out, and it looked like it. It looked like it was going to, but
yeah, they made it to the playoffs a few times.
Yeah, just not a good.
Better than any other Lions there that I remember, where they actually were like a competitive team.
Were they good with Barry Sanders, or was it just he was? Really good?
There were years that they were good. They had some good years because they actually had made it to the NFC Championship in the early 90s with Barry Sanders, like 91, I believe.
Hello, One Rough Girl.
What's up?
Joining.
One Rough Girl.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's an interesting story. Jock Nerdy says he's a Raiders fan and he's so done with sports. I don't know if you know this.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Raiders coach.
I heard something about it. That was so. I didn't get the whole story, but basically it was an email, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of emails apparently.
Yeah, or email chain or something. And hell, Clyburn times. Yeah, we drafted Barry Sanders, but that's my point. I mean,
one running back in 40 years. Like, you know what I mean? He is a great running back, but still, it's not really.
I mean, our drafting throughout history just terrible. Because we'll go 20 years and not draft any. Between drafting Barry Sanders and drafting Calvin Johnson, name another draft pick that we had.
Aren't you the only team with a no win season?
I thought another team just do that recently.
Well, okay. At the very least, you're one of the only teams.
I know we're one. I think we were the first. I could have swore.
Pretty sad.
It is terrible. Yeah, when other teams can play, I'm like, come on, man. The Lions are the worst franchise ever. They will never.
They probably are. I mean, I think the Jets are awful.
But the Jets at least have like playoff appearances, conference championship appearances.
I mean, they had 2 in was it like 08, 09?
Yeah,
under Mark Sanchez. But then it all becomes a joke. You know what I mean? Like you have like those 2 years, but then you have the butt fumble.
Yeah.
You have the Mark Sanchez butt fumble, and then you have like the feet picks or whatever, like the feet worship from Rex Ryan.
Oh yeah, he's really in the feet. He has his wife's feet,
and his chick's wearing the Sanchez jersey. You're just like, what? It's all creepy and weird, and then it just becomes a big joke. And then Rex goes to the Bills and then beats the Jets, and you're like, God damn it! Like the humiliation of a Jets fan. And this year, it's really bad because we traded or we gave away what's his name, Sam Darnold to the Panthers. I don't know if we did it for picks or whatever, and he's doing great with the Panthers.
It was you
and
guys.
We're 1-4.
It wasn't his fault. And he was a high draft pick too.
Yeah, no, he was a second-round pick or third-round pick.
Yeah, and he's been
third
wasted.
pick overall. Yeah,
he's been wasted. You wasted the pick, and now he's valuable somewhere else.
Yep. And then so we basically put his training wheels on. You know what I mean? Yep. Like we had all the rough years, then we got rid of him, and now we got a new kid that we got to go through all this shit with again, Zach Wilson. And it's like, what are you doing? Well, why? You got to stick with a quarterback at least for a little while. And it's it's the thing about the Jets: no patience, no development, no vision. It's a terrible franchise. I hate that franchise. I have no idea why I'm a fan of them. I hate them. I really do. I genuinely do.
So here's the thing I've never understood about like New York. Now the Giants are not doing good this year, but historically they're a good franchise, right? Or much better than the Jets. So if you could choose to be a fan, why be a fan of the Mets or Jets ever? I've never gotten that.
Well, sadly, I didn't pick the Mets. The Mets were something that I was born with because of my father, who's a big Mets fan. Because I think my dad is a contrarian.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, like his father was an Oakland A's fan. And then, he had all these Oakland A's. I don't know. My dad hates his dad. They never talked. And my dad grew up in New Jersey, and I think he to this day hates the Yankees like so unreasonably. So unreasonably. I think I told you this when we were talking about Jeter. When the day he retired, Jeter.
Sorry for the sports talk, guys. I know we sports talk radio.
What are you gonna
Sporting newscast.
When the day Jeter retired, I put something on Facebook. Hey, listen, I suffered under this dude's reign, growing up in Jersey, all the Yankees fans and this, that, and the other. But he is one of the greatest players I've ever seen, and something to a great career. My dad on that same post writes underneath, "Good riddance." Just miserable. Just a miserable, Yankee hater. But I don't know what that does for. I don't know why you would be that hateful, because all it does is just highlight how good they are and how much the Mets suck, which is true. And so anyway, I was born in '85. They won in '86, and I never had a choice.
Yeah.
And then as far as the Jets, I picked them when I was a kid, stupidly, because I watched Testaverde in the AFC Championship against the Broncos. I think
he was okay. Yeah,
no, I mean, it was
solid.
It was a good run. They're in the AFC Championship. It was with Parcells and Testaverde. It was fun, and I remember watching that game and getting really excited. And but then
it's not to be
the same old Jets. That's a reason. Yeah.
I mean, So Jets have had some, but I've never understood. Like,
that's funny.
It could have just been a giant. Like, I don't get it, but I guess whatever. Mets fans have suffered.
Chipper.
He
was a great player for the Braves.
Oh yeah, because you guys are in the same division, so the Braves were battering you guys for years.
Every year, God, the Braves were so good for so long.
Because the Braves were good for it was like into the 2000s. They were still like bad, at least winning in the division. They would flame out in the playoffs themselves, but they would own that division.
A few in there.
They won a few, but like at that point, they were just flaming out.
There's also
I don't
the
think they
Yankees.
Had
you had the '90s Yankees. They were one of the best franchises ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't need to do sports talk all day. But,
we're getting a lot of sports, references in the back. I mean, like I said, Clyburn talked about Scott Mitchell, the Lions who they get. Scott Mitchell was the backup. I think Dan Marino's backup had like 2 good games. They gave him a bunch of fucking money and went nowhere. I think he may have went to the playoffs a couple times. Again, had Barry Sanders, so it's easier with that. But yeah.
Well, the reason we brought it up, the reason we talked about it, is because of John Gruden, the head coach
yes.
of the
Got to talk
Las
about this,
Vegas Raiders. That doesn't roll off the tongue.
No, it's still crazy that there is a team in Vegas. It just tells
Yeah.
us we're in an alternate timeline. Like, this isn't the same.
Mhm. Yeah. Speaking of alternate timeline, do you see that video I put out from last week's show
Which one? The one
about the Mark Stein music?
oh yeah, I did see that.
You did, because no one else fucking did. It's got
Oh.
about 30 views. So I'm glad. It's one of my probably the most underperforming video I've ever put out. But
Oh no.
but anyway, yeah, no, I did. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny for us to encounter the entertainment from another dimension. Apparently, no one else did.
Man, I don't know how to
70s
get
rock
ahead
fan.
on this platform. Trying to get
idea
because
either.
it doesn't seem like you like being subscribed to something means nothing. And yeah, we did say. Oh, I'm sorry, I screwed up the super chat because I'm
No,
rambling
that's
too
okay.
much.
Don't worry about it. That 70s rock
I
fan
do
for
worry.
$5 Canadian says, Matt, so I have to pay you to say my name now? Say my name, bitch. Say it.
Say my
Jesus
name. Say
Christ.
my name.
So hostile.
Yeah, you're a
Hello,
pretty hostile
that
70s.
70s rock fan. All right, your name has been said on the air. Fucking assault me with your super chat. Hello, Matt317. Hail.
Hey,
Good to see you, sir. What is up? What is up? What were we talking about?
we were talking. Well, you were bringing up the John Gruden story,
That's right.
and then what were we talking about?
Oh, and then alternate reality
alternate
because
reality.
the Raiders have a team.
Yeah,
Right,
Las
right,
Vegas
right.
has a
Las
team, and then
Vegas
we were
has a
talking about
team.
the Mark Stein thing, and then I was talking about how crazy it is to the platform because being sub doesn't mean you'll ever see something you're sub to, and vice versa. Like just because you put something out doesn't mean your subs will see it.
Yes. So, I guess John Gruden. Now, what thing is, okay, so I guess privately he said a bunch of shitty things in emails like, over an 8-year period. Now, much like every single cancellation, I can't seem to find the actual emails. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Did you find them?
No.
'Cause I
It
didn't-
says, sorry, it says, fucking LA Times. Hold on, I have to turn off my ad blocker.
Dun, dun, dun. I thought the issue was that he was so critical of the commissioner, and then that was like,
Well, he did call the commissioner, Roger Goodell, an anti-football pussy, which I thought is great. I think that's awesome. Oh, wait, how do I... Hold on. When you click on extension on LA Times...
shout out to the LA Times and their incredible ad block,
Fuck you.
blocking ad blocking technology.
Just let me... God damn it. How do I... Okay, this website off. Great. All right. Good. Now the ad blocker's off, you fucking piece of shit. And this is just LA Times. It probably won't. The thing is, every time they ever have these things, you never get the incriminating evidence. You just get the report on the incriminating evidence. It always says, "Oh, it was racist and misogynistic." It's like, well, let me decide whether that's the case or not. Just tell me what just give me the okay. So in another email, it says in quotes the ESPN personality. Well, he is an ESPN personality. Why put it in quotes anyway? It says. A clueless. This is what he called a redacted football person. What? I think this is Roger Goodell. A clueless anti-football pussy.
And I don't disagree because I've not liked Roger Goodell as a commissioner.
No, and I like that he calls him an anti-football. That's funny to me, and it's accurate.
It is accurate. I thought that was the real issue, that he said something about the commissioner, and that meant he had because the commissioner is an anti-football pussy. He was trying to like force him out of his job, and then he just left. If I'm getting the gist of it, this is my interpretation, but that's what I thought.
Well, it's that, but also I guess he went after that player, Michael Sam, the gay player. You remember him?
Honestly, I feel like ESPN probably ruined that guy's life and his because he was not gonna be this superstar ever. But if he would have just, because there have been gay players since, but if he would have just, because they made him into this big thing and they showed this moment That was when ESPN first started to dip his toe into the woke land.
Yeah.
If they would have just let him live his life, let him just be a 6th-round pick or whatever it was, he had had a better chance of being an NFL player. Instead, they made him into this, like, I don't know what they were trying to do, make him into this like story, this talking piece. And then when his career flamed out, they was just like, all right, peace. It's like,
well, he wasn't very good.
No.
Newbomb Turk, by the way, can you get me that list? If you have like the link of that, I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, I did also hear that he called. Apparently, I heard he called the commissioner that. Oh, he said something about the NFLPA guy. What's his name?
I don't know. But what I was going to say about Michael Sam, to me, it really did feel like a publicity stunt because he wasn't a very good player. Like it was pretty obvious. I think I don't think he ever even got off the practice squad.
No.
And they basically and then I guess the Rams drafted him, and then they dropped him, and then he immediately went to the Cowboys picked him up, and I think the Cowboys were pretty piss poor that year. It really did just feel like publicity. Like they're just gonna sell some jerseys, they're gonna get some good press for having a gay player on their team. I'm not saying you should call him the F dash 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 word, but like, come on, let's be honest. This was just to look good. This is all press.
And I thought they did so at his expense because, like you said, he's not a good player. He's somebody that he hopes to make it on special teams type guy. You know what I mean? Hopes to make the practice squad.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on the
he'd be happy
squad,
just to be on the roster type guy, not a superstar.
I mean, you're still one of the best athletes in the world, but you're not a professional player, so it is what it is. I mean,
fringe player at best. And so if you're not supposed to be the spokesperson while you can barely make the team, it's like you make it harder for him to make the team. You make it harder for him to be out off the practice squad because now he's a spokesperson. He's just, and everyone's gunning for him just based upon the clout and attention. It's like, oh, so what is this motherfucker, man? Fuck him.
Well, Jeff Fisher took the time to virtue signal the former coach of the Rams, and basically, I mean, he's
one of
a
the
pretty
worst coaches in history.
I was just gonna say he's a shitty coach. Like he's not a good coach. Like he had I think a few good years with the Titans, and that's about it. And I think his record is one of the worst.
Yes,
it's a terrible record. I mean, he's not a good coach. But he took the opportunity to virtue signal on Twitter, and he says, as a head coach for over 20 years, we drafted or didn't draft players based on a variety of qualities. Their sexual orientation would never and should never play a role in the decision. Well, I want to applaud you, Jeff Fisher. You, sir, are the most virtuous of the virtuous. You are such a good person. Congratulations for being a king among men, you phony piece of shit.
The most ironic thing about Jeff Fisher is there's a legit argument. I'm not trying to be a race baiter guy, but he's the coach people cite when they say, hey, there's not enough black coaches, but you let him coach forever. And you say, well, if he was black, would he have gotten that chance? Man, I mean, you had Marv Lewis, but at least Marv Lewis went to the playoffs and would flame out. Jeff Fisher really did, like you said, a few good years with the Titans and was a coach in the NFL 20 years where he should have been 7.
Well, the Rams were also a garbage franchise for a long time.
Part of that was him, though.
No, I mean, part of that is them, but also it's
they were too garbage to notice beforehand. Oh, we're still trash.
No, I have a conspiracy theory about the NFL. I think certain teams take money to suck.
Ooh, I believe that.
Yeah, I don't understand how the Jets could be this bad this many years. In and out, and then certain teams are always good. The Steelers are always good, and I think they come from a good football culture. But I do think the NFL I think that's rigged in a certain sense. I think that they make certain teams just shitty, and no one cares about what goes on in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a big market.
They were in St. Louis a lot.
Yeah, no one gives a shit. And then they go to L.A.
Yep. Then all of a sudden he's gone.
Yeah.
And, man, you know what? Because when you talk about sports conspiracy theories, that's a whole rabbit hole. And
I think there's more to it. It's yes, I know technically it's illegal, but I'm sure there's ways that they can manipulate it. I've always thought the NBA. I've thought the NBA has been rigged for years.
I think a lot of people saw it. Anyone who saw, and I mean, I love Kobe, love Shaq, but that series, their run championship run had some questionable things happen.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. And I saw when Kobe played the Celtics, and I was high on mushrooms when I watched that game.
Oh shit, you might have saw something in another dimension.
Oh, dude, I was like, what is going on? Like, this guy is wide open, top of the key, not taking the shot.
Yeah.
Why? Like, it was weird things. It was like, there was just so much bizarre stuff going on in the court. Like, I was like, what is happening? Like, it just doesn't feel right, you know?
There's been some questionable things happening.
Lots of questionable things.
Questionable things. I remember when LeBron, that first year against Dallas, where he just played like crazy. Like bad though. Like he played like he had never played basketball before.
Oh, was this the one with when he was in Miami?
Yeah, when he was in Miami
with Bosh and
Bosh and Wade, the very first year.
Dwayne Wade.
They go to and his son. In his very first year with Miami, they go into Dallas, or they're going against Dallas, and I've never seen a great player play that like. It's not like he just played bad. He played like he had never played basketball before. Like he looked like, and wait down. He knows about the the MK Ultra program. Not to screw up your channel anymore. Shouldn't even said that. But like,
you think someone in the crowd was sending radio signals to his brain, and
I swear on everything in love it looked like that. I swear on everything in love, like somebody like, because I can't understand.
I watched a bunch of those games. I remember that series.
Like he just would like freeze defensively awkwardly and freeze with the ball. Or if you tell me he had a massive panic attack, I would say okay. Or if he was suffering from a panic disorder that he didn't have under control, okay. Otherwise, yeah, something.
See, that's a little more conspiratorial than I would argue, just because it's like
toss something in the drink. You could toss something in people's drinks.
Like I would believe that they rigged the games, or that certain teams, like they rigged the lottery. I'd buy all that. But for a single player to like somehow be fucked with to not be good, like I don't know. Like LeBron, as good as he is still a human being, and he has off days and on days. You know what I mean? Like it's not. I don't know. I find that a little tough to believe. I'm not saying it's not the case. I'm just like, I don't know about that. But you might be right. I don't know.
There's something when listen, I've never seen a player like that perform. Even like there's ways to have bad games. It just he looks scared. If you say he just had a breakdown, it was his first time in the final. Well, no, it was his second time in the finals. The first time in that big stage where he was expected to win, and he just had a panic attack. Okay, outside of a panic attack, I need an explanation of what happened. And
well,
again,
this is not going to help my YouTube monetization.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're just talking about
just kidding.
How we're going to get growth.
I'm just kidding. Let's see if I have anyone. Is anyone else unsubbed? No. Okay. No one's unsubbed since we started. So that's something.
Thank you for staying with us.
Thank you, everybody. You're all so wonderful. I love you. Thanks. All right. Well, anyway. Oh, Jesus Christ. The fucking chat is all about all this stuff now.
Georgia Guidestones, what the fuck is
God. All right, guys. I'm just trying to keep my head above water.
I'm just trying to
keep my head above water. I don't need to get fucking assassinated. So I guess Gruden, I don't know, said a bunch of shitty stuff, and then he had to resign, because all these things were said. I guess they were said in private while he was working for ESPN. Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
More than 650,000 emails on the team server were reviewed as part of the probe. And I think this has to do with the Washington football team.
Jesus.
John Gruden emails were part of June court filing by Washington football team owner Dan Snyder.
This is very wonky.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he's losing his job as a coach for what he did as a commentator.
Yeah. What he said
in private, or I guess not private, work related, because he did work for ESPN. So let me at least clarify that. But these were conversations internal to ESPN.
Yep.
In which he may have used some colorful language, basically. I mean,
Well,
I
the New
guess
York Times is calling it hate-filled correspondence, so I wouldn't call it colorful language.
But like, okay, I know he apparently called Roger Goodell the other F word, and like you said, an anti-football pussy. But she is. But like,
anti-football. That's so funny.
I just agree with it. I've like never really liked Goodell. I thought that's when the rules started to get. Like, I get it. You want to protect players, but then he doesn't really want to protect players because then he adds more games. So it's just like whatever.
I just want to see the fucking emails. Everyone needs to tell me what to think about the emails, but I'd like to just actually see them if that's possible.
It's state-sponsored media, like you can't even see.
What was the Raiders' record, by the way? Weren't they doing well? And here's the other thing. What the fuck do you think a football coach thinks? Are you surprised he casually says the F -- word? Is that surprising to you? It's not surprising to me.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here like, what? A football coach calls someone a fag? Whoa, really? You say it ain't so. Come on.
Not supposed to use those words.
I mean, you're not supposed to. Look, the thing I think he did was, what the hell are you doing in a corporate email? I agree. You shouldn't do that. That's unprofessional as fuck. And if the Raiders want to fire him for that, that's one thing. But that's not what's going on. This is a witch hunt.
Yeah. They were 3-2 for the Raiders. That's pretty solid so far.
Yeah.
Tied for second. It says third, but I mean, they're both 3-2. So, they were doing pretty good. I think it's only the second or third year in Vegas. I don't know. I mean, we already went conspiratorial. I'm not sure if this is some sort of shaming ritual. Outside of that, this does seem like
you are so conspiratorial.
I don't know. It does seem weird, man. I don't see like, and the weirdest part, and I guess this is not how media coverage is, the fact that you can't actually find the actual emails.
Can't find them. I'm going through article after article. No one is showing them.
Yeah.
Horrific. Oh, well, the Intelligencer New York Magazine calls these comments horrific.
They're so horrific, you're not allowed to see them.
Horrific. Really? You're horrified.
This language is so bad, it's censored from all human eyes. Not like
and meanwhile,
NC-17.
There are legitimate murderers in the NFL. People who have actually taken other human beings' lives.
Yeah, there are, aren't there?
But this guy, he derided female referees and the gay former player Michael Sam. Therefore, off with his head.
The female referees do suck. The male referees suck.
I was like reading this. I'm like, fucking beast.
That's why you're an alt-right Yahtzee.
Yes.
But like, okay. These referees in the goddamn sports suck. I'm sorry, this is the culture sports fighters, this episode. But like these referees do suck. And I'm seeing these female referees, not just in NFL, the NBA. Listen, man. So the referee base is already terrible. I'm not trying to say they're worse. I'm just trying to say they seem to make more mistakes even than the men consistently. And that may not be, maybe they just both really suck and I just happen to notice the females more. There is biases, psychologically that could exist. But man, I'm not trying to say that the refs don't have a hard job, but I will never, ever defend the referees for the job they currently do in all these sports. They are just terrible across the board.
I just see no reason why there needs to be a girl there. I don't get it. Why? Why does there need to be a female referee for any reason?
It makes,
but there's not even females on the fucking on the field. Why do you need a female? I have no clue why that matters, other than purely representation. That's the only reason I could think why you would need that. Maybe she's better for the job.
No,
maybe.
Here's the problem with that, especially for football. With basketball, you could argue that there has been well established a high school maybe it did. I hope
That's
not.
funny.
High school female basketball, college female basketball, pro, even if you, whatever you think about WNBA, is a pro level league. And then you have overseas leagues for women. So there are women who have played basketball for 20s and 30s of years to understand basketball. You can make the argument, hey, this woman could theoretically.
I'm not saying she doesn't get the game.
Hold on.
I'm sure she could be a terrific ref.
But I'm making this argument to counter football. That is not
couldn't have
the case
football.
in football. So, like, I can accept that for basketball. Whatever. Because, like I said, the men refs suck too. They allow traveling. They allow, you can't foul anyone.
God, especially if you're a star. You
the
can pretty much do whatever you want.
Rules are just,
I got it, New Bum Turk. I got it. I have it. I'm in a conversation. I see it. Thank you.
Yeah, we will get to it.
I will get to it.
But that argument can't be made for football. There's not an establishment where a woman, based upon her own experience, could understand football to the same extent that they could in basketball, because it ain't ballet. You know what I mean? It's I'm not saying women.
That sounded so sexist. It's not ballet, toots.
It
all
ain't.
Right? Listen, you want to go do the can? Do it off the football field.
Listen. Football is a male sport.
Clutches pearls.
It just is. It just is. You want to know something? Beach volleyball is a female sport. I don't think men should play it. I genuinely don't. The fuck you doing?
Don't tell that to fans of Top Gun.
Well, Top Gun. I mean, but that's the scene. It's not like the nobody who saw Top Gun follows beach volleyball like, the Brazilian male beach volleyball team is excellent. What are you talking about? Like, that's
I heard this woman the other day just like how APM says yes they should.
Okay, there's a market.
How dare you take his happiness away? But no, I heard this girl the other day and just like how women have to wear bikinis when they play volleyball and men don't, and that's bullshit. It's like it isn't. It isn't bullshit. I'm sure if they wanted to, they could wear whatever they want.
I'm with you. Show your titties.
They want it. They want to be looked at. They want to be admired. It's like we're living in this fantasy land with these feminists who are like, oh, it's just like, what? No, women. It's like the whole Chris Rock bit. Women need food and compliments. It's like, they need it. Like they need to be it's something that makes them feel good. It makes them feel valid. This is not a crazy, outrageous thing to point out.
All these feminists twerking on TikTok.
And that's the other thing too. It's like, as long as if it's empowering, then it's fine. If there's any sense that the patriarchy made them do it, then it's the worst thing in the history of man. You're like, nothing you say makes sense.
So what it is somehow women want all the, I'm not gonna say women, feminists, let me be specific. Feminists who are a plague. They want like all the attention, but like no, like they don't want any ugly guys attracted to them. They want somehow all the guys to be like,
well, that's
submissive.
women in general. I think that's women in general. I think feminists want it to be like it's a one-way flow.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get.
They get all the attention, but it's almost like the way a celebrity gets attention.
Yeah.
And there's like a wall of security around her, and she just gets to be admired and appreciated. And, oh, yes, I will take your money, but I give nothing in return.
Yes.
Women in general, I think, only want attractive men to, like, it's like women, they get all like this, like appalled when men like hit on them during the day. Like when they don't want to be hit on, you know what I mean? Like, because when they want to be hit on, it's like they're insulted that you didn't. But when they don't want to be hit on, they're insulted that you did. It's like everything just kind of has to go her way. Whenever she wants it. But I think that's just kind of a universal female trait.
But that's why this is taking its way into feminism. It's still a part of the energy. It's like, hey, I want all, okay. Hell, wake down.
Good to see you, buddy.
Thank you, man. But it's like they want to be like you said, like a celebrity. They want to be like, show their ass, literally show butt ass. And get all of this like empowerment and all this attention, but no consequence. There's nothing. Like
also nothing for the audience. Like the men are not even supposed to really derive pleasure
No
from it. It's
pleasure
supposed to
from
be
the man,
something.
no.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like almost like a punishment. Like it's supposed to be like, yeah, and she's in power, and you're a patriarchal man. It's like you're supposed to just sit there with like your hands cuffed. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
while you're aroused, and look at this attractive woman.
You're
but
not supposed to be aroused. Like you're supposed to put like a cod piece there or something.
Well, I think you're supposed to be like aroused but not satisfied. You know what I mean? Like you're supposed to be punished for being a man. Like that's almost how this. It's almost like some sort of dominatrix culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And down with the patriarchy, the male gaze, all this other shit.
The male gaze, which is like, if any of these women had to survive like a week without having all the privileges they get for being a woman, like they would collapse in a heap.
Yeah.
And I don't mean all women. I just mean these particular women, like who think that like the entire world
Patriarchy are bad. Men are trash.
Yeah.
On my iPhone, drinking my latte in my car that was all built by men.
Because there's lots of baller ass women who do genuinely take care of themselves and work hard and don't play into any of this bullshit. But a lot of these women live in such a bubble that if you pop that bubble, like they'd have an emotional breakdown.
Yeah, most of these women, and throughout history, most of the people who quote unquote want the most social change are like the most privileged. It's usually the upper middle class.
Very often.
Nothing to do, because even back in the day,
Elvis.
Elvis.
Wait, hold on. Did I do it right? Oh fuck.
Ibrahimovic.
Ibrahimovic. Fuck. I tried to do it the other night and I thought I got it right, but now I can't.
Ibrahimovic.
Oh, hey, by the way, I did not delete your comment, fuck Destroyer Class Cruiser. That comment on the Expanse, I didn't delete that. That was YouTube. Automatically got rid of it. So just so you know, they do that sometimes. I don't know why. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, brother.
All right, but isn't the girl said something about that she has to work now because of feminism? So back in the day, there were women that still had jobs. They usually didn't have like full-time jobs. They were like, part-time jobs. But like, because, there was like poor people. You just didn't make enough, at certain jobs, even as a man. But it wasn't like a necessity. So the women who were so upset were the women who couldn't work, the women who or didn't work because they were wealthy enough not to need to work. Because there were indeed poor individuals who still had to at least do something.
Yeah, I mean, plenty of women worked during the Ibrahimovic. Thank you. We are targeted.
Ibrahimovic.
No. Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic. That's
there
it.
We go.
Ibrahimovic. Thank you. Sorry, I'm stupid. Look, I'm not from your culture, okay? I hate that it's like when people say it's racist because you mispronounce someone's word. Like, I'm sorry I don't understand the intonations of every single language on the fucking planet. Like, that's not racism. I'm just not from your fucking culture. Like, that's ridiculous. That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. You mispronounced my name. You're racist. Get fucked.
You're a bigot. That's the problem. You're an alt-right bigot. You're supposed to know everything and do everything right, and you're supposed to be able to brain read people. You see that video where I want to say it's a Taco Bell, where it's a guy, I want to say he's a Hispanic guy, and there's a trans woman in the fucking car, and he's like saying something to her. He's like, I don't know what your pronouns are. And then she turns the phone to herself sarcastically, like, duh, you would know what my pronouns are. And I'm like, no, ma'am or madam or whatever. I don't know what your pronouns are. No one does. And that's what he was yelling at her. But it was almost like she was like, oh, yeah, well, duh, of course you would. You can see that I'm a woman. I'm like, no, you can't. Because you have a 5 o'clock fucking shadow, dude. And you're like brolic looking. And it's like
so annoying. It's like we all need to live in this fucking fantasy land to just,
Tumblr's not the real world. And they're trying to make it into the real world. They're like,
the thing is,
determined.
like, I've met people in my life. Like, I had a teacher in college where it was weird for like a week, but after a while, you're like, oh yeah, no, he's a chick. Like, you just feel like it's a female energy. I am fine saying that. I'm not the kind of person who's like gonna no. It's like, nah, I get it. And if you want to be called that, I don't care.
I am too. But like, don't assume I'm supposed to be this rocket science that knows exactly what you're doing without like. How am I
Well,
supposed to know?
but also don't force me to do it. Don't
Yeah.
penalize me if I don't. Like, I am a polite person. I will most likely treat you that way. But it's like this entitlement when it's like, okay, but I could use science to prove that that's not your gender. So you're insane. You're yelling at me like I'm completely out of line and 100% irrational when it's like, actually not. Like, I'm being very rational. It's like I can understand how you feel. I can
Yeah.
respect how you feel, and I can treat you with respect in that regard. But for you to be like, how dare you? It's like, well, okay, slow down, Toots, because technically,
Yeah.
you know, you know what I mean? Like, I can prove otherwise. So it's like, I don't know why. Like, that's the thing that bothers me about cis, like the prefix cis.
Yeah.
I hate that because what that does is require you to acknowledge trans people every single time you speak about anyone. And like, that's just all that is just more, like clout and self, congratulations. It's like you have to acknowledge trans people even when you're not even addressing trans people at all. It's like, that's ridiculous. That's insane. I will treat these people how they want to be treated, like politely, but I don't have to acknowledge their existence every single time I acknowledge a human being. That's crazy.
Well, that's why that's progressive. That's what we're supposed to do because some college educated individual told us this. 6 years ago, cis was never even a thing that anyone cared about. Neither was most of this stuff.
No, none of
But
this
now
shit.
it is, and that therefore, I'm seeing Latinx everywhere now. You're not Puerto Rican anymore. You're not Dominican. You're not Mexican. You're just Latinx. You're all just Latinx. You're
It's
not
ridiculous.
even.
I'm
You've
so
lost
sick of
your
these
identity.
narratives. I'm so tired of these narratives. One rough girl says, "I hate that cis stuff. It's demeaning to the true nature of being a woman." I agree.
Yeah.
I think women are losing out on a lot of this shit too.
You're just a person with a vagina.
Yeah.
You're
What
not
are you?
a woman.
Are you a turf? One rough girl. Don't be such a turf.
Yeah.
Do you know what a turf is?
Yeah, I do know. It was a trans exclusionary radical feminist. And I say I have no love for TERFs because I have no love for any feminism regardless. So you guys are
But
still
just
idiots.
that they're
But I get what you're
fragmenting
saying.
themselves in these
Yeah.
radical. And it's also, they're radical because they don't agree with your narrative. Therefore, they're radical.
Radical, man.
It's like they're acknowledging actual gender, and therefore they're radical. I was like, all right, shut up, you fucking idiot. Oh, it's awful. Awful.
But yeah, I'm not pro TERFs anyway because feminism is a plague and fuck feminism.
Yeah,
I said it.
does suck.
And I'm sorry to
I
say
hate
it on your channel. I should probably
I've
say
always
something
hated it.
different.
Ever since I was like even a kid. Like I remember even being in like middle school with my buddy making fun of feminism.
There you go. Look at you, proto-based.
Yeah, proto-based. That's me. No, I was thinking about the Latinxes. Latinx is my favorite mutant superhero. That's funny. The Latinxes. I was thinking about that. I am so fucking sick of the European colonizer narrative. Like, as if Europe was this evil force throughout the world where prior to their, horrible, disdainful poisoning of the planet, everyone was just holding hands and hugging and being charitable and not being homophobic and treating each other with love and just hugging each other, and every culture was thriving. And then these evil Europeans with their guns and swords ruined everything. It's like, are you fucking serious? You really believe that that's how the world was? Like, do you have any idea what Japan did in World War II to China? Like,
fuck that. What about Genghis Khan?
Horrifying. Genghis Khan, all the things that went on in India, all the different wars and warlords that have existed throughout history.
And I can't remember, what was it, either the Aztecs or the Mayans? Weren't they eating hearts?
Yes.
One of them were.
The idea that it's unique to Europeans is maybe one of the biggest misnomers. They're like, oh,
Yeah,
Europeans are so
human beings
bad.
are crazy.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like Europeans are
culture-
so bad. Compared to fucking what? Compared to what?
Well, why people bad? That's what my college showed me. So,
Yeah. That's
But no,
really
like-
what it is.
human beings, regardless of race of culture, like if you just look at history as one big thing, people have done fucked up things forever, man.
Yeah.
And they still do, and they still will. Like that's just China's numerous internal wars. Yeah, that's what I said. Genghis Khan, numerous wars along the African continent. There's been numerous wars in most continents, even in Europe. I mean, we got Croatian representation that can tell us that. This is I don't think people understand how exceptional America really is. I don't think people really realize this multicultural. You can govern yourself to some extent, even though that's leaving us. But like how this experiment actually worked out well better than it could have ever possibly worked out. That is America. Not hasn't been perfect. Not everything's perfect. Human beings aren't perfect. But this has never happened when you've had a country with this many cultures.
It's the most progressive country in the history of man.
Yes, by a long shot.
Yeah,
by a enormous long shot. Still one of the most progressive countries, if not the.
Yeah,
on the planet.
People like to idealize all these other nations. It's like you literally can't own property in Japan if you're not culturally Japanese.
Yeah,
you can't. It's illegal. It's a law.
Yeah.
Like, talk about exclusionary.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, That's why they have to create all these narratives, because like you can do anything in this country. You know, like if you can do it, like it's like if you can compete and succeed, there are no limitations. I mean, obviously there's limitations in the sense that people will be competitive, people will try to stop you, but that's going to be true in human nature anywhere you go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying this country's perfect. It's not. There's plenty of terrible things that go on routinely. And I'm like one of the people, I don't like what the government does. I don't like all the foreign wars and the nation building, all that I hate all that. I don't think our military should be as giant as it is. There's plenty of reasons why this country is imperfect. However, the opportunity here is second to none.
Yeah.
How can you even argue that?
It is inarguable. No disrespect to my blokes over in Britain, but I mean, I don't really see any other country quite like America, where you can literally come from nothing and build yourself into, to wealth, even to being able to take care of yourself. It's easier to go from zero to something here than anywhere else in the world. At least that I've seen. Because why else are so many people trying to get into this country?
That's what I was just gonna say. I mean, that was like it was like the same people who want to deride this country and talk shit about it.
APM would agree. Oh Lord.
Yeah. Are also like, they're horrified about not letting like the dreamers in and like all the immigrant caravans and all that stuff. Horrified that you won't let them in. But also it's like, well, why would we let them into this awful country?
Yeah.
Ryan Long had a great joke about this last night. It was so funny. I don't like to give away comics material, but it's so pertinent to what we're talking about. Plus, this isn't that big of a channel. So he was saying about how like America's like kind of like the spoiled rich kid of the country. I mean, of the world, where he goes, it's like you got like a pool and a trampoline and go-karts and like everyone wants to like come over. Oh, hey man, can we come hang out? Can we come out to your place? And he's like, no, you think it's so great, but you don't get it. My dad's such a Nazi.
Basically.
I was like, that's so funny. It's so true.
Basically. I like Ace Mr. Free with a Richard Jenny quote says, America's slogan should be 20 million illegal immigrants.
That's really funny. That's a good joke.
There you go.
That's funny. That's a good joke. Yeah. No, I think the more we go along this path that we're on, the more we talk about this and the more I read like Thomas Sowell and stuff like that, the more I'm convinced that really like there is a war on America, a war on Western values, and it is like a long-running psyop to destabilize this country. Like I really have no other conclusions that I could draw.
Yeah.
I just don't. I can't think of another reason why. Like, I don't think the left's empathy is so run amok that it's become a destructive force. I think that's a tool that people exploit.
I absolutely agree. I definitely think Ibrahimovic. That's it. There you go. He says America is behind Croatia in evolution because we already fought off the communists for independence 25 years ago, and you're about to enter that shitstorm. I thought McCarthyism, one of the, say what you will, one of the benefits is we were supposed to get rid of him, but it looks like McCarthy was right. And we did get rid of the communists.
So much of the Red Scare is completely vindicated now.
Yeah.
Like everyone looks at that like,
right.
Yes, everyone looks at that like a sad time in our history. Like, oh, you're out to touch these people. They were all right. They were 100% correct. There is a long-running psyop to destabilize this country, and they are going after your children.
They went after your children, and then they had us, and now they're going after our kids, or the current generation of kids.
They're right. They were all right. Now, I'm not saying they handled it well. I don't think we should have all these proxy wars, but they were correct.
They were correct. God, the communist, look at the education system, ground zero. That's how we learned. That's how these people are learning cisgendered and BIPOC and Latinx and all these other cultural Marxism elements. That's where they're learning, hey, capitalism bad.
Yep. Capitalism bad, America bad, white man bad.
White man bad. And they just say these terms. They don't even know what capitalism or communism is. They just
no clue.
They heard these terms. Capitalism is rich people getting richer, therefore bad. Communism, money spread around, therefore good.
They're not necessarily wrong about that, but generally, as far as I can tell, what enables that is bad government.
Yeah,
that's what I see. And I know that might be naive or like overly simplistic, but it does seem like a lot of times these capitalism run amok is they rig the system so that they can't lose.
A lot of these too big to fail companies, though, we saw them get bailed out a generation ago. Mm-hmm. But even before then, they'll often have regulatory say. So they'll be the ones regulating themselves and therefore kind of rig things in their
favor.
And really, that's a symptom of that can happen in any government system where you're talking about.
And it does.
People for sale. I mean, that's just, I don't know how you necessarily prevent that outside of the stewardship of the citizens. Like the citizens have to call that out. And with the way our media, we're just now realizing our media has been lying to us. If you play that back in reverse, you can only imagine what we've been fed over the past 50, 60 years.
No, it's true. Well, the thing about it is we are not genuinely educated as people. Like, I'm listening to this book right now, Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell, and I'm only I'm only 6 or 7 hours into this audiobook, and already my mind is blown about all the things I didn't know that I needed to know. Like just the way markets are controlled in general. Like the fact that the audacity that a human being would attempt to take that on is so contrary to authentic progress, and how much economic data contradicts socialism or communism in any real way. It's not even a matter of opinion. It's just that it's impossible for a government organization to regulate that many prices. You just can't do it. You don't have the resources. You don't have the time. It ends up becoming so much more bloated, and things end up costing so much more than they would if it was all private, if it was just regular competition. And like the way he breaks down how profits motivate progress. It's not a bad word. It's not a naughty thing to have profits. It's incentive, and it's without incentive you don't have these things, and it's just so fascinating, and it's they don't teach this shit in school. They really don't.
No, and because they don't want you to learn this shit because they're the ones because they're ideologues. They're complete ideologues, and they're we've had this conversation before about how I don't know if I said it in this way, but I feel like if you would have taught my mom's generation Thomas Sowell, none of this would be happening.
I agree. If we taught that and critical thinking, authentic critical thinking, we wouldn't have these problems.
But critical thinking is discouraged.
Yeah, it's antithetical. You need to fall. And look, and this isn't just a problem of the left. The right is just as much a victim of this. I think a lot of what we're living through right now with the right is the left's fault. I mean, I'm sorry. What we're living through with the left is the right's fault of like how they used to be the authoritarians of the country. Now the left has gotten they're the authoritarians in response to the way the right used to be. Because I was listening to an old Opie and Anthony episode, and it was Rogan was calling in, rallying against the Catholics because this was back when there wasn't really social media the way it is. Like the canceling used to come from the right, and he was attacking them for having problem with words. This is what these were like verbatim. Rogan was saying this about the Catholics, and you're like, holy shit, like. That's the left now. Like the left has a problem with the words. They don't like the words you use. Back then it was the dirty language. Now it's the homophobic language or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, it's the phobic language because everything's racist, everything's homophobic, everything's bigoted.
Yeah. And so like it was amazing to hear him like rallying against these people. But it's like it's just shifted who is doing the suppression.
Yeah. Oh, it's suppression. People. It is suppression.
Yeah. It's the same energy. It's just different, coming from a different source.
Yeah, I do think the thing that separates it now, and it probably just has more to do with the technology available. Yeah, use critical thinking, not critical theory. I like that, Brightest. That should be a t-shirt.
But
okay, we live in this now social media age, and I can't say that it would be different if social media existed where there was a more, Catholic rights authoritarian. System.
Well, the left seized on it. The left seized
that's what media. I mean. Yeah. With social media being such a leftist, with the way our world works, where you have the digital platforms being so overwhelmingly censored in a certain way, where we can't say certain things. So, and then you have the media. It's like what they're doing now is like they're able to reach way more people at once than
and stir them up
in the past and stir them up. And again, that is just as much of a technological thing as it is, the left versus right. But
it's really good psychological warfare, though.
Yeah,
it's very good psychological warfare. Like they know exactly how to, because they get me too. Like you find yourself arguing with these leftists, and you're arguing in their playground. You know what I mean? You're playing with their toys, and you're like, wait a minute. None of these toys these aren't even real. You know what I mean? Like everything you're saying, like this isn't even like you have a foregone conclusion that I don't even agree with, and I'm arguing you on that. It's like, wait a minute, no, hold on. Let's take it back to the conclusions that America's always been racist or whatever. It's like
we're arguing off of a false premise, basically.
Yeah. Like let's restructure this entire discussion because I don't even agree with your supposition before we even move forward. But it's like they managed to trick and confuse people, and like I'll tell you what. It's been really discouraging for me being in the Austin comedy scene. How many fucking just people coming from a leftist point of view when they're doing their stand-up. Mm-hmm. It's so disappointing. You're like, ah.
Well, you know what? I have a question about that. Are they successful? Like, are they leftists and the leftists laugh it up and it's working?
They get some laughs. Yeah, they get some laughs. Lots of guilt laughs. Like a lot of people passing off social lecture as comedy. Because they say it kind of upbeat with like a little bit of laughter in their voice, but it's really just a social lecture. It's just sounding off. And it's like the typical, it's not even that, it's all, black people are victims, the whole same shit. You're just like, ugh. All right, whatever. Like it's just so boring. And it's like, the thing is like, even if that narrative is true, which I guess on some level it's true, but it's like, even if that was the facts, I heard all this. You don't have a new angle on it. This isn't creative or clever. It's just the same boring bullshit.
I really hate regardless of the history of the shit that's happened in this country, and it's been a lot of fucked up things, it's still fucked up things, right?
Sure.
I am not with the I should be encouraged to be a victim just from a psychological masculine standpoint. I'm a man. I'm not a victim ever to anyone, and I'm not below anyone. My biggest gripe with the left or the SJWs is not that there is no institutional racism, that they in fact are the institutional racism, that you're the ones who are causing a lot of issues that you're complaining about.
Yes, your policies are holding down an entire community.
Yes. And on top of that, you are always infantilizing us.
Yes.
And I'm tired of being infantilized in these conversations.
Yes,
like
you
it
should be.
pisses me off. That genuinely pisses me off. So I don't go with the victim thing because I'm the type of person, like, even if you're not supposed to like sell it anyway. Like I'm not supposed to be like, oh my God, white people have just I don't know what to do with my life because the white man's just been holding me down. It's like, fuck that. Are you fucking kidding me? Not let anybody hold me down.
I
Fuck
have
off.
lots to contribute to this conversation, but I did want to point out, lost another subscriber while we've been doing this.
No, come back.
I don't think
We
anyone
miss
left.
you.
I don't think anyone left. I think they just
you're
took
probably
another
right.
one off the fucking total, off the pile. 1630 down to 1630. Awesome, guys. Make sure please make sure you're subscribed. Press like and share for the love of God. Please help this channel out.
Sharing is caring. Why won't you let the good whiteys help you, Vin?
No, I think you're 100% right. I think it's true racism. Like you said, infantilization is a perfect way to put it because that's what it is. It's like this whole thing with like voter IDs. It's like,
fuck me.
Are they children? Like, how can that? Why can't black people get an identification? Like, how many black people don't have an identification? Like, what do you mean? Like you need it for so many other things. Like, how could an entire population not have identity? What are you talking about? But I wanted to ask you, why do you? Because it is the sad truth is it is actually very widespread though in the black community. Like as far as I could tell, and as far as I've been able. Why do you think that is?
As far as what
Why do you think the black community is so susceptible to this victim narrative?
Ooh, I don't know if we have enough time in the podcast, but let me try to
sum it up.
It's not just. Man, and I saw something on it somewhere along the line. Maybe it was the 60s or the 70s. You know what? I think part of it is the history. There is a fucked up history in this country. That's not deniable, right? And somehow there became a thing where, like, I think because somehow it became a thing where pointing out the atrocities to a lot of people became like a symbol of blackness, like pointing out how oppressed we are,
yes,
and pointing out how and constantly being antagonistic somehow got conflated with like blackness. And the most interesting element of it, and I've talked about it, and you've been like kind of in disbelief, is a lot of this, believe it or not, is like in the they would call me a coon or whatever for not having views on narrative, but a lot of what they're doing is for the attention of white people. One of the biggest examples I can get is fucking white privilege herself. What the fuck is that demon's name? White chick, Robin DiAngelo.
Yeah,
got it. She has worked with Detroit's own Michael Eric Dyson before, and I think he even wrote the foreword of a book. And he's this kind of black revolutionary type guy, but he, at the end of the day, he's looking for this white woman to impress. You know what I mean? A lot of those black revolutionaries look for a white liberal to impress. Fucking
is it status? Does that like internally, does that feel like that would be that their status is increasing because like the intellectual class now acknowledges them?
Maybe. I think there's a lot of people who want like acknowledgement from white people, but and I'm just the type of person, my personality is, I don't really give a shit what anyone thinks about any. Like I joked about the women, like I don't care what any woman's opinion is on anything. Truth is, I don't give a fuck what any human being's opinion is on anything with any subject, for the most part. Like I'm not gonna let black, white, man, woman, straight, gay, anyone else, their opinion to me like impact me. I'm not looking for anyone's validation. I'm not looking for anyone's like negative validation. I'm just a natural, just do my own thing type person. So like a lot of people got caught up, and especially in the social media age, of like showing out. Like there's this thing, you ever heard of blackfishing?
No.
That's apparently when white celebrities try to act black in some way, which I still don't know.
Oh, yeah, I get that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That happens all the time.
Yeah, and
politicians
try to associate themselves.
They're the worst, yeah.
With black culture. sometimes
I keep hot sauce in my purse.
I want to punch that bitch after that.
We know.
I shouldn't say that because I don't want to get Clinton sided.
But you wanted to. You didn't say you were going to go do it.
No,
you just had that urge internally.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But
Can't control my feelings, YouTube.
Yeah. So like there's I think in that same vein, not that they're necessarily fishing to act white, but they're looking for like, especially now, there's the like I want that. Some people have joked the hug from the
It's
white
an
man.
interesting
Just that,
theory.
you know, like I definitely think there's a lot of people in the black rage community that want validation from Caucasian individuals. So that's why they pattern their black rage by the liberal Caucasian, the liberal academic standard.
Yeah, that's an interesting theory. I think there's something to that because there's something about like you hear a lot of, especially people who are caught up in this, still identify with their relationship with white people. Like that is still very important to them.
Yeah.
How they match up and how the overall of the black community compares to the white community. Where it's like it's these two collectives, which it isn't. It certainly isn't. And most of the white people who live in this country came here well after slavery. Like even their ancestors. I don't even mean, you know, like I mean like because of the influx of European immigrants in the 30s through Ellis Island. Most of my ancestors, most people's ancestors came then and had nothing to do with whatever slave trade was going on here in the 17, 1800s. But regardless, it's still like this sort of, oh, we are this group and you are this group. And until we're exactly the same, there's a problem. And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter about any other facts or ancillary factors or, you know, reasons. It's simply that you are white and you are doing better. I am black and I am not. Therefore, racism.
Yeah. And it's not helped by a lot of people who want to use racism as like a boogeyman term, as a tool. But no, just the threat of racism. Oh, there is a threat of racism.
White supremacy. I mean, they're doing it more now than ever.
And now, because like I don't think, I think one of the big misses. Yeah, I gotta work in a little bit too.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up too.
We'll be wrapping it up in a little bit.
Yeah.
But oh shit, I kind of semi lost my thought. Basically, I think a lot of people, the biggest myth is that all black people are liberal, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
I think most black people, as far as if you look at the voting amongst black people, it's overwhelmingly liberal. But I don't think most black people vote. I genuinely do not.
I heard Larry. I think it was Larry Elder that I was listening to him make that point, and I was like, motherfucker. He made it really well. And it's like, that's the weird thing now with like Lil Nas X. I'm like, when the hell did the black community get down with gay people? That is a very new thing.
Well, that's been pushed over the past, I would say past 10 years, 10, 15 years, been really heavily pushed. Heavily pushed. That's
and
one
it's
of my
almost
things.
Becoming synonymous. It's really weird.
Well, I was talking about this. Okay, we didn't talk about gay Superman, but gay Superman's boyfriend is apparently Japanese. That's not been tossed. His name is Nakamura. His last name is Nakamura.
Japanese
and I'm
guys
like,
are pretty gay, though.
Huh? Oh, poor Japanese guys.
Just kidding.
But no, I'm like, they are always making their boyfriends like non-white. Like they're always trying to emasculate.
Oh, they do that all the time.
I hate to use the term people of color, but they're always trying to emasculate, whether it's black people, Latin people, or Asian, but particularly black. It's a heavy emphasis on black right now. That's
it's such a masculine culture, and like black dudes, at least American black guys for the most part, they're generally very alpha. Like they're usually in great, like a lot of dudes are in incredible shape, so much more muscular, just naturally, just born muscular. It's so fucking frustrating. I'm like, I work out all the time. I'm not even close to how muscular you are. You just wake up and you're fucking shredded.
I did not get those genetics,
but some dudes do. And it's
yeah.
like, they're also like, I think a lot of black men are very sexualized in this culture too. You know what I mean? Like, but legitimately, you know what I mean? Like they just, for valid reasons. So that's BBC all very
porn and shit like that.
What's that?
I said BBC porn, shit like that.
BBC porn, of course, all that, all that stuff. But I think that's a threat to if you're like feminist supremacy, like if that's like your sort of end goal is to be, more female. legitimately, that is probably the biggest threat because it's almost like there's so much pure masculinity in the black community that it's like that needs to be dealt with. So it's almost like if you emasculate the entire population in, in service of equity or equality for all, it's kind of like it'll get through.
Yeah. I think they've definitely essentially dealt. I laughed at that when Matt wants to get money.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
I think I've said this before, and again, like there's always been like a feminism has hated the black community forever. Like I talked about the abortion thing.
It needs the black community to just act,
and I've talked
behave.
about and I've said, my joke is feminism has hated the black man ever since Gloria Steinem got pumped and dumped by Jim Brown in the 70s or the 60s, whatever it was. But it really has been like a real attack on it. I feel like we were the ground zero for a lot of the stuff that's happening in culture. That things, and that's part of that's conspiratorial, but part of it, I have evidence for it. Like,
but if you look at it, right, and you've pointed out like the real black genocide, which is all the abortions,
which
is
the single
like a great
mom
point.
thing is now being culturally put. It used to just be kind of I would say past 20, 40 years in the black community, because in the 50s there wasn't a black single mom epidemic.
No, and it's like it's almost like a prized characteristic to like abandon like the mother.
Yeah, or to kick
cool.
the father out of the house. That's what a lot of the welfare programs did. You can't have a father in the house, or else you get less benefits.
Yeah, man,
and
that's
now,
true. That's a good point.
The co-parenting thing, they've taken this element that they pushed. This is my theory. They pushed it on us, and now you guys got to deal with it. They've made it a little bit. They've cutened it up. It was co-parenting, but it's like you're not in your son's house. You know what I mean? They're trying to get you guys they're trying to normalize single motherhood as like the default way of parenting for all cultures now.
But you're kind of like, it's interesting that you say it. It really does feel like that was the preliminary experiment where no one was going to notice or care.
Yeah.
And then we're going to kind of destroy this community, whatever. And then we're going to try it on the larger community in a few years. Like, it's kind of what you're right. It just feel like that.
Yeah. And then just think about hip hop. Like, I didn't like, remember it used to be something that they hated and shit, and it was like stumping on CDs and shit. It was almost like some satanic panic shit. And now it's like the most popular thing. They even got fucking white rappers. Shout out to Tom McDonald.
I was smoking weed one time. This was back in college, and I was listening to that great song, "It Ain't No Fun If the Homies Don't Get None." You know?
Yes.
And I was like, this is kind of gay. All they're doing is just talking shit on women, and like they don't like women, and it's all about the guys. I'm like, this is sort of gay. Like, it's just kind of like, I don't know. It just sort of hit me. I was like, huh. It's a little.
Oh, man, I wish I had I think Filthy Frank. This is kind of gay.
It's kind of gay.
But like, you know what that song is, and honestly, that whole concept of like passing pussy around is gay. Like, I don't want to fuck someone that's fucked my friend and multiples of my friends.
Yeah,
like,
we're all the only ones you respect are men, and you don't respect women at all. I'm like, that's a little gay, dude.
Yeah, I'm not about to celebrate passing around pussy. That's something.
No, I don't understand that when people can like completely dehumanize like a person like that. Women do it too, though, by the way. It's not like just a male thing. Like, I'm encountering some weird shit here in Austin. I'm like, God damn, you guys are fucking different, man. You really do not you don't give a shit.
Scary.
I guess sharing is caring. But it is after 2, and I know you got to get going. I think we should wrap this show up. My apologies for being late. I got a little drunk at that show last night and just slept through my alarm. Apologies.
Hey, no worries, man. And you know, I wanted to mention the movie I didn't like. I'll save it for the cocktail lounge. But okay. Am I guest hosting?
Oh yeah, I gotta hammer those details out because my buddy's in town. Well, not in town. He's in Houston, but we're gonna go to the Renaissance Fair.
Cool.
Speaking of gay, we're gonna go to the Renaissance Fair on Saturday. So I'm probably gonna drive down to Houston Friday night. And I don't want to do that at like 3 a.m. So I if you could guest host, that'd be great. We'll figure that out. We'll hammer out the details. I'd like to try to start on time if possible, but you can't. So I don't know who else I'd get to guest host. Maybe we'll just start late. It is what it is.
Okay.
But what movie was it though?
Okay, yeah, because I know my job.
A teaser for Friday.
Actually, you know what? Give me a second, and I can stay another like 2 or 3 minutes if it's okay. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah,
I'll be
right
back. Ban for me for a little bit.
Okay. Chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. If you guys haven't pressed like, please do so. Make sure you're subscribed to both of us because YouTube hates me. Lost another subscriber while we're live streaming. Can you believe that? I mean, maybe someone tuned in and was like, oh, you suck. I doubt it, though. I don't think that's what happened. I think I'm in YouTube jail. I lost another subscriber. That's ridiculous. It's like a tub just draining water. Anyway, please like, subscribe, share if you like it. I mean, if you guys find it interesting, you think someone else might like it, share it. Vidge is back.
Please share.
Please.
Sharing is
caring.
Not sharing girlfriends. That's not. That's weird.
That's weird.
Weird shit.
Hey, Jock Nerdy just threw us $10.
Hey, we appreciate
the
tip.
Jock Nerdy. Let me see what he says. He says, "Here's my fine for the terrible produce joke." That's funny. All right, you are absolved, my son.
Yeah. Well, listen. If we were fined for every terrible joke, we would not be able to afford to live. At least not on my channel.
No, I think I'd be executed. Yeah.
Well. Yeah, some of this stuff lands. I don't know if any of this is going to land. So you were talking about the last Boy Scout a few weeks ago on the Cocktail Lounge.
Yes, I was, and how underwhelmed I was by that movie.
Underwhelmed. And there's a movie I saw recently that everyone loves that I was very underwhelmed by.
Interesting.
Dread. It's a fine movie. It's so overrated, and I gotta. And that's why I gotta say it like that. That movie is so overrated, and it's like and it's not terrible. It's not completely unlikable, but it's just like, man,
my feelings.
There's something try hard about the movie. I gotta ban them from the channel.
Yeah, you are banned.
Hot take. Dread, yes, the movie Dread from 2012. Was it Carl Urban?
With Carl Urban and Olivia Thirlby. Wow, indeed.
It's fine, but it's so overhyped, man.
It's so good.
It's like
that line where he's just like he goes, "Where's your helmet?" And she goes, "Oh, I find it interferes with my psychic abilities." And he looks and he goes, "I feel like not having a head would interfere with them more."
Man,
awesome.
They're okay line. You know something, man, and I know everyone.
I'm so great. He's so Dread. He's got that sneer the whole time. He does an incredible job. Oh, and the slow-mo drug, and they kick him off the roof, and they have to slowly fall to their death. Oh my god,
that was a cool scene. There was some cool
Brilliant.
scenes. Then there was Firstly,
Mama.
I know everyone's gonna hate me. I know Carl Urban is beloved. Listen, if you're gonna shit on the Dark Knight trilogy for that Bat voice, how am I supposed to tolerate Dread? It is lighter than the Bat voice. It is not as bad, but it's damn near an emulation the whole time. Secondly,
I can't argue with that, but I will say the movie is more cartoony than The Dark Knight. Like, it is more elevated. It's more like a comic book. That's what I love about it. Like, there's certain frames to me that look exactly like the frame of a comic book. For instance, when Mama decides to take those fucking miniguns and just level that whole... Oh, it's so cool. And that looks exactly like a comic book.
That scene exemplifies the problem. It does... Parts of it look cool. When they're running, it looks so tacky because there's just bullets flying around and it's just not hitting Dredd and the girl or Anderson. They just miss. They happen to hit everybody else and just miss them, and they just run around awkwardly and the CG bullets fly around. Wow, and it just looks goofy. And then that scene was like, okay, what tone is this movie? Am I supposed to mourn all these people that died, or am I supposed to say, hey, look at the cartoony violence? What do you want me to do?
Both. You're supposed to be like, Mama is so ruthless. She doesn't give a shit. She'll kill everyone that lives there.
I wanted to laugh at the scene, though, but I wasn't allowed to because it's supposed to be this scene, or it was supposed to be, this is... If it was supposed to be more cartoonily violent and just... like this is supposed to be like a almost, I hate to use the term Tarantino, but just kind of slapstick violent Kill Bill violent. I would have been cool with that, but it wanted me to care. And it was like, what is this? How am I supposed to feel about any of this? And speaking of black man victim, fucking Avon Barksdale gets cucked by women back to back. Not only does the psychic make him piss himself, he gets cucked by Mama. Just everyone shits on the fucking Avon Barksdale.
Yeah,
one of the
that's
greatest.
fair. I don't know that, like, I see what you're saying. I wouldn't look at it as like, it doesn't feel like agenda cucked. It just feels like the character is just sort of gets like a raw deal. I agree, but there's a great moment though when he has her, when he manages to get the upper hand. He goes, "You're so fucked." Like, it's so great. Like the way he's like out of breath and the way he says that to her. He doesn't say it like a menace. It's not threatening. He's just like, "You're so like everything that's gonna happen after." Like, and it's horrifying because you're like, they last people they flayed them alive and then kicked them off the fucking roof. Although that looked terrible. They didn't look like they had their skin cut off, but still, it's menacing that they would do something like that. And then I don't know, man. I thought it was great. I love the CG, like the physics of the way those bodies impacted felt very real. Very, very often when they drop, but like the people never splat the way they really do in movies. Like there's not enough force. They don't like, because people kind of flatten out when they hit the ground at that speed. And they're like, and it's like they really did it. It felt like it was real. Like the sound and all that stuff was terrific.
There were a lot of well done stuff, and we're losing people like people like Dredd. Nope. You disrespected Dredd. Nah.
Yeah, no, I don't blame them. By the way, this is a shocking take to me.
It was an okay movie. I think it's overrated. I think if I would have walked in, because everyone just talks it up.
Maybe that's why. Maybe because I had no expectations when I walked in. That's fair.
That's what it is. I think if I walked in with zero expectations, I probably would have enjoyed my time more.
That could be. I could see that.
It was just another movie with the tone. The tonal issues, man. Jesus. Like the tonal, like I don't know.
Clobbering Times agrees. He agrees. Dredd is one of the most overrated films in geekdom. It's not faithful to the comic at all, and I've been a fan of the comics for almost 40 years. I hate it.
That was my next question. Like, I was going to say
I've never read a Judge Dredd.
I haven't either. No clue. What's it called?
I have no idea.
It's not called Judge Dredd. I think it's called something AD. I want to say like 2000 or something AD.
I thought it's not called Dredd.
It might also be that, but I thought it came from another property. But my point is, like, I just didn't enjoy it. It was an okay action movie that was overrated and had some flaws and tonal issues, and it was very brutal. It wanted to be so brutal all the time, brutal, death, this brutal world. But it didn't really feel. Again, if it was supposed to be a brutal comic book, and maybe I just missed the tone.
It is a brutal comic book. I know that for sure. If you ever look at any of the artwork, it's really brutal.
It just felt.
But like Clobbering Time is saying, it's not at all faithful. So I don't know, but it is a brutal comic book for sure.
It felt try hard, and it felt okay. I mean, it was okay.
I think
it was
and Clobbering Time should hang out and just be haters together. That's what I think. Just be negative Nancy's.
Listen, I like a lot of movies, and this just isn't one of them.
So the only thing I don't love about that movie, I don't love the helmets. I think they're too big. Mm-hmm. Like I think they look a little silly, and I don't like the motorcycle.
I didn't like the way the town looked either, because it's CG.
I like that. I like the Mega City one. Dude, I love
parts of it looked okay, and then parts of it looked like. You could clearly tell this isn't. I don't know. You can. It just. I don't know. Is it movie just?
Sad to hear that, but we can have this conversation again. I'd like to hear other people weigh in on it because, look, I understand. I have like hot takes on movies that everyone loves, and I'm like, that's not good. Like Batman Begins, I think is a fucking terrible movie. I think it's bad in so many ways and so many contradictions that make no fucking sense. Like, I don't kill people unless you. Try to kill me, then I will murder every single one of the League of Shadows. It's like, what? What are your values?
It makes no sense because he clearly burnt down that building. Oh, that little monastery they were in.
He
burnt it
murdered
down.
everyone there.
Everyone
And it
in
was
there
like,
that didn't make
you won't
out.
kill one murderer, but you'll murder every single one of these vigilantes. What?
That you know.
That
You've been training with them for however long.
And you turn on them like that. Like in an instant. You turn on all of them and you murder them without a second thought. What?
Yeah.
Ugh. And fucking what's her name in that movie is so bad.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
That's why they had to replace her. Katie
Awful.
Holmes?
Katie Holmes is
She didn't know what she was doing.
awful. She was on another episode of Dawson's Creek, man. She's so bad, and like the writing doesn't make any sense. Oh, that movie sucks.
There's flaws.
A lot.
There's flaws in Batman Begins, but I still love it.
Ugh.
But nah, Dredd, man, and I'm glad Clobber and Times. He's a real comic fan. He agrees. And
Shut up! Your criticisms do not come from the comic books being
no, it doesn't. But
faithfully adapted.
Getting his approval, his validation.
Yeah, I understand.
Like,
I'm sure if I was like the only one saying something like that, I'd want. Yeah, I get that.
Someone who understands the
You're
comics to also agree with me.
Yeah, that's a valid. That's a good character witness. A good expert witness. I mean.
Yeah. Because it just didn't hit. And I mean, it could have. It just felt like the tone. What tone? If you would have just stuck to a tone, I probably would have been fine. But I can't tell what I'm supposed to take seriously or not.
That's a really interesting criticism. I never thought about that.
And that's the thing. There's a lot of stuff that I said doesn't look good. Like, certain scenes look cool. Certain scenes don't. He just figures out that the other judges are dirty instantly. His voice, like I said, is Batman light. And I did like how he kept her on, like, no matter how bad it was, she still was on assessment. That was cool. Like,
I like that too.
It was like, okay, what's the call? I'm like, oh yeah, they're still on assessment. I thought that was cool. There were some cool elements.
Yeah, and I like the idea that the judges being dirty made so much sense because, like, in that world where you can't even fight crime, like everyone's a criminal. It makes perfect sense that they would be corrupt.
Yeah, but like for him to just figure it out like so quickly. It was just like, it made sense for her because she was a psychic, but like he just all right. I just know. So, yeah, we're losing.
Yeah, I don't remember how he discovered that. You might be right. I just remember loving it. I mean, I just was. Also, I had no expectations, so that's fair. And I just thought there were certain things about it that were so good. Like I love the slow-mo. All the slow-mo stuff I thought was brilliant. And the effects were great. And the way everything was heightened, and it seemed like it was like, oh, that feels like a real drug that would exist.
Yeah.
And I did like the Mega City one. And I don't know. I liked that he was cartoony. I thought that was fun. It was just that he's gonna give someone like 8 months in an ISO cube for asking for money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Funny. You're just like, what? That's a little overkill, don't you think? Like, there's murderers.
But then they killed the fucking guy with the little building. The building
came down, and I love that because he gave him a warning, and then he didn't take it, and then he died. It's like, oh, that's what you get.
And that's what I'm like. Am I supposed to laugh at that, or what do I? What am I supposed to?
Why wouldn't you laugh? Got crushed by the. I don't know. It was good, and the guy Donald Gleason as the hacker, I thought was really good. I thought like her menace was really terrifying, and the way like she cut out his eyes and gave him like bionic eye. Ugh, it's so fucking dark. I thought she was a good villain. Like,
she was a
cartoony,
solid villain,
but good.
Yeah, she was a solid villain. Again, I mean, I know it wasn't agenda driven, but I didn't appreciate. I like Wood Harris.
But Wood Harris. The thing is, I'll say this: he's not in anything.
Yeah.
He doesn't. It's not like this is unique. It's not. You know what I mean? Like either he's not a great actor off. Like, or he's hard to work with, or people don't like him. I don't know. But it's like it's not like they took. See, like I thought they treated Idris Elba terribly in Prometheus.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that movie. And I'm like, how did you not use this guy better? Like he's you know what I mean? He's fucking a Stringer Bell, and he's just like some retard pilot who fucks Charlize Theron or whatever. But it's like it's not an interesting character. Like he's much better utilized in that Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah.
But it was like I think Idris Elba up until very recently has been underutilized almost universally.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's like, okay, finally people are starting to take note, but it's like I really haven't seen, I can't even think of another thing Wood Harris is in.
He said, "I can." He was in Remember the Titans. He was,
Yeah,
he,
he's in
you know,
Remember the
he
Titans.
he was in
After
a
the
lot of
Wire.
stuff.
That's before the Wire. I mean,
It was around. He was in a lot of stuff in the 2000s and really haven't done any sense because he was in Remember the Titans, The Wire,
yes, he was.
and Paid in Full, amongst other movies. And then I don't really remember seeing
He was
him.
the friend, right? He was like they had like that. They bridged racism, right? He was the guy.
Yeah.
It was a great movie.
He was good in that.
Yeah, but that was pre The Wire, though. You have to like contextualize
pre The Wire.
things.
You want to sacrifice for the team? What team?
Ascension Dildo.
Hell, but she was like 50
Wood Harris
movies a
didn't want
year.
to put on a dress. That's funny.
Maybe. Well, they definitely cucked him in this one. He's pissing himself, scared of Mama, which I'd be scared of Mama. I mean,
It didn't seem irrational, but you're right. He didn't really get his moment to be a badass at all. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right,
yes,
that we're gonna do it there, my friend.
Yeah. Because we didn't talk about anything pop culture. It was sports. It was
That's pop culture.
thought. Yeah, I guess it is. But I wanted to toss that out there. And apparently, we lost fans on that. People say, you know what?
Yeah, they're like, we're done. I'm done with the culture crime fighters. I give these
Done.
guys a chance. That's it. I like that take, though. I mean, it's interesting. You know, it's like I've never heard anyone make that statement because I always thought Dredd was incredible, and I've never heard anyone contest it. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it's just, not a fan. Not a fan. Wanted to. And maybe if I would have saw it like everyone else, I would have liked it more with no
Perhaps.
expectations, no knowledge. But yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Please press like if you have not. If you did enjoy it, by the way. Don't do it if you didn't love us. Share the video if you can so that other people can find out about this terrific program. And if you guys feel like catching us, we're also on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you can find podcasts. So feel free to check us out there. Thank you very much.
Zach said.
That's funny. Fish says
Like
the first real Terminator movie was Genesis.
I didn't even see Genesis. The last one I saw was the Christian Bale one.
I thought Dredd was great. I thought it was an awesome movie. I loved it. It was just so different.
That's probably the problem. Everyone gives it so much effusive praise where it's like, you say, hey, Dredd's cool. I'm like, yeah, it's cool.
It's
cool.
Was awesome.
It's cool.
Well, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Catch on Friday. We're doing the Culture Crime Fighters. I'm probably not going to be there, so you'll have guest hosts of Vigilante.
Not the Culture Crime Fighters. The MF
I'm sorry,
Cocktail Lounge.
MF
We're on the
Cocktail
Culture Crime
Lounge.
Fighters.
Yeah, we're on the Culture Crime Fighters. Sorry, my brain no work good. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see y'all soon. Oh, I realized I didn't even do the Culture Crime Fighters intro today.
I actually did realize that midway, but then I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't want to mention it. So yeah, you gotta do the intro and outro.
Now we got to do the outro, of course.
All right.
Thanks, guys. See y'all next week.
Peace.